Howdy, howdy, everyone! And here we are, about to begin the trial? Exam? Whatever this is supposed to be?
What's going to be on trial, anyway, if it's not the truth or the actual circumstances of the Neo World program? I don't know what is. In the first game, Juko had said that we had to solve the mystery of Hope's Peak Academy, but really it was mainly just a murder trial.
Because there are still many questions left over. It could be that we need to convince everyone that this is a simulation and choose the graduate function. Although, since Monokuma has to make a decision afterwards, I don't know how that's going to play in.
He said that there's no way he wouldn't acknowledge it, but it could just be that if we all hit it without any debate in the trial, that he just won't be satisfied.
Because he still has to follow some of the rules of the Observer, according to Makoto.
So, Danganronpa 2, Final Trial. We're the Bittersweet Gamers.
I'm We Square.
I'm the Opinionator. Let's go. There is one other thing now that I think about it. I cannot help but feel as though I am being subliminally asked to order lunch for an 11-year-old. If you have an 11-year-old I can order lunch for, it's this type of compulsion. Well,
no, I
don't. Did any of you people give me an 11-year-old so that I may order lunch for them? Why is everybody looking at me like this? I'm not crazy. Well, I'm not. Hey, how old's Hiyoko again?
Oi!
I did say I wanted you guys to know the outside world, but this is still a questionable starting topic.
I'm talking about ordering lunch!
That is a questionable starting topic, especially for an 11-year-old. Don't give me that look.
Let me ask you this. What is this world's true identity?
The thing we said it was way back in the first 2 or 3 episodes!
Huh? This world's true identity? What kind of question is that?
I mean, I know we've been seeing, like, strange walls and, like, blocks floating in the air, but that's just a silly question.
Nothing like Mr. Denial. Senor Denial ignoring it all.
This world's true identity. If I answer this, it will be true.
It won't not be true if you don't answer it. What's real is real regardless of what you think about it.
And that lie will become the truth.
Even if it's not something that you like, it doesn't mean you can just pretend it isn't there. That's just kazuikiing.
But that voice talking loudly in my head is correct. There's no way I can leave it unanswered. What?
Getting right to it. I'm not gonna walk away this time in case there's another nuclear bomb. Virtual. Okay, so Billy?
Yeah?
You need to get rid of those, yes. You had this habit of just like leaving them all there so they'd all get blown up.
What are you talking about?
They're moving pretty fast though.
But it's not quite as crazy.
Well, there's not 7,000 of them. There we go. You know, if you just use focus, you wouldn't have this problem. Hit the A, dude! What are you doing? Stop screwing around! You're not showing off! You're trying to succeed, man!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Use focus and recover life! Good lord!
I didn't realize I'd gotten the A, so I was trying to do the A again.
There were like 80 of the A's!
A-T? Huh?
If you use focus, you pay attention!
This Jabberwock Island we're on.
This entire game! Throughout every trial that you keep finding ways to game over in! I'm shrieking at you the whole time, use focus! And the only time you want to use focus is when you're just holding it down when it's unnecessary to mollify me so I won't say use focus. Because you're using focus. That's like saying shoot shoot the enemy in this game about shooting the enemies. So you take your gun and you shoot the air until you have no bullets. Why are you so bad at this?
Maybe I'm the robot traitor.
It's a virtual world that was inspired by the actual Jabberwock Island.
That was supposed to be my big reveal.
Hey,
So, this isn't the real world, but if you want, you can call it the game world.
Well, we've been calling it the virtual world, or a digital world, and virtual, of course, was the answer to the Hangman's Gambit we just did.
Right. There weren't enough letters for digital.
You get it? It's all just one big game.
But it's all a big game to him anyway.
Yeah, whether it's real or not.
Are you friggin' serious?
don't fucking mess with me, you bastard. Did you have us all come here just to tell us bullshit?
Guys, did you not see all the pixelization? What about all the warping?
They even commented on how strange everything was. Even if they didn't see the same distortions we saw, it was obvious that something unnatural was going on.
If this is a game, are my words being displayed in a text window right now?
No. Why do you ask?
Oh god, does that mean everyone knows what a big creep I am?
That's stupid. There's no way that's even possible.
Clearly.
I know. The all-in-your-mind trope makes you feel such cruel despair. But who cares? I've revived all the suspense and mystery with just one line.
Not really. We've kind of been going through all this.
I mean, sorry, Monokuma, but come on.
'Cause it's a game.
Do better.
Then we were forced to kill each other.
'Cause it's a game.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? You shouldn't have done that. Well, I mean, saying that to these people is sort of pointless, though. I mean, they didn't.
A lot of crazy shit happened.
'Cause it's a game!
'Cause it's a game.
That's gonna be the name of this episode, isn't it?
We're the only people here.
'Cause it's a game.
Oh my god.
Monokuma's nonsensical ability.
'Cause it's a game!
'Cause it's a game.
Ordering lunch for an 11-year-old. 'Cause it's a game!
Don't fuck with me. That's not even possible.
Well, wait, 'cause it's a game.
I know you
Oh.
guys are pissed, but you were having fun too, right? A world where anything goes only exists in games. So just force yourself to accept it.
Because it's a game.
Are you going to tell us that everything that happened, no one did anything wrong, 'cause it's a game? 'Cause if you are, that's bull.
This closed space, this game world, was the true stage of this killing school trip.
Just stop. There's no way I'm gonna believe that.
Back in the day, people must have reacted the same way when they first saw the airplane take flight.
'Cause it's a game? No, it must have been pretty insane. Like, quite famously, the first big screening of a film with a train.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
had people dive out of the way in the movie theater because it just wasn't possible for them to comprehend with what their current knowledge was that it wasn't something real, that it was a video image.
Yeah. Advancements in technology like that are always kind of mind-boggling at first. 'Cause it's a game?
But like wearing contact lenses, it'll stop feeling strange once you just get used to it.
Consider the two of us are old enough to have been around for the entire existence of video games outside of, like, Pong.
Yeah. That's like maybe the one thing older than us.
But when we were born, people were using records and not everyone had cassettes. And we saw the rise of every type of technology and then the subsequent flushing away of that type of technology as it's replaced by something else.
Now I feel old.
Well, that's true. It just goes to show how crazy the last several decades have been.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, we've got parkour robots now.
Yeah, we have freaking parkour robots!
Just try and wrap your head around that. Anyway.
Please do not compare reality to contact lenses.
Or parkour robots. Seriously, who even cares? But are they cool? Do they really do parkour?
That's about all they could do.
Yes.
I mean, if this really is a
yes.
virtual world, what does that make us?
Video game characters, dude.
You better not say we're fictional characters.
Well, more like virtual representations of actual characters, if you want to get into the technicalities of the universe.
We're not actually positive about that.
I know, but that was the crux of Hajime wanting to reject this so much. He's like, am I even real?
Right.
The Future Foundation created this world using a program called the Neo World Program.
I mean, yes, they're real.
Monokuma, I gained all these truth bullets so I could convince these people of this. What are you doing?
Well, maybe... Well, who said that it's because you were supposed to convince them of this?
Fair point.
It's programmed to place the user in a virtual world by synchronizing directly with the user's brain.
Okay, there's 16.
I mean, technically there could be some on the other side.
Which means your body still exists in the real world.
Are they cryogenically frozen? Because that would be the cherry on top of the cake.
Well, now I have to actually count them again. Now I'm concerned about it. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But right now, you're completely submerged in the game world, as if you're dreaming or something. Simply put, you're, not aviators, but...
Are you saying that we're blue people who are trying to save the planet from powered suit wearing Marines?
We have to fetch the unobtainium.
Or are you trying to tell me that I'm supposed to bend some earth or something?
You mean Avatar, right? An existence created in the game is a copy of the user's real body.
Way to steal my joke, Daymon.
Anytime, my friend.
But we're not just regular avatars, right?
Your avatars were constructed by removing a specific thing from your bodies in the real world.
All of your memories?
Yeah?
Huh.
What did you remove?
The specific thing that was removed from our bodies. He's definitely talking about that, right?
I see.
I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah.
What was removed from us was our school memories, right?
Which means we're avatars that were created from our memories from before we entered the academy?
So that's why we don't have our memories of our lives at Hope's Peak Academy? Don't talk like that! Like we're made from memories of the past. Like we're avatars. Like this is a game world. How'd we end up talking about sci-fi crap? I'll never believe it!
I only like hardcore fantasy! Or urban fantasy's okay, but get rid of that stupid sci-fi! I especially don't want any damn robots, Daymon!
Neither do I!
Hey!
How many times do I have to tell you? It's not sci-fi, it's a game!
This world is a virtual reality created by a computer program. We can't proceed if we don't accept it. Is believing him really the only thing we can do?
Well, it's true! Stylized meat-eye down there, the logo. Is it just me, or is this actually all of our truth bullets?
I think that's all of them, yeah.
Is there any evidence that this is really a game world?
You are the evidence!
What does that mean?
Your avatar's made of memories from before you entered the school! But your actual bodies in the real world are different.
Older.
Though you have no memories of your time living your school life, your real bodies actually lived that life.
Yeah, I mean, hence Hyoko.
What game?
Right!
What avatar?
The time discrepancy is something
I'm a human being with a real body!
we'd been concerned about since the first game. Now, apparently in the first game, it turned out to not be that, but there is a time discrepancy.
There is. And the proof of that is the list of subjects, the newspaper clipping showing Hyoko as being older. I think it's list of subjects, agreeing with that they lived their lives because it shows a fully grown Hyoko.
Makes sense.
They did lose their memories.
There's only 3 statements. Monokuma says, have no memories. Well, it's true. We have no memories. And Akane says that they're human beings with real bodies. It's true. They are human beings with real bodies, just not in here, and so it's sort of irrelevant.
Nothing we have would agree with that anyway.
I'm not entirely positive that this is it.
Well, I am, so there, and if I'm wrong, you can blame me entirely.
Don't worry, I will. Yep, that was it.
That must be it.
Now
You're agreeing with Monokuma. I feel dirty.
Earlier, in the teacher's lounge, I found this strange newspaper clipping.
Now you remember what focus is, right?
It's the thing that I sorely lack but need.
It's the thing that I have to remind you to use in every single trial.
Remind me to use what?
Don't forget that we've set our character skills entirely around it. Do I have to remind you?
No, yes.
There's a picture of Hyoko, but she looked more like an adult than the Hyoko we knew.
I still think it's hilarious how in the first game I was like, we don't know when any of this is. We don't know how much time has passed under any circumstances.
Right.
All of it could be a lie. And so that sort of turned out to be true, not then, but for this game.
Look! Makoto, can you not tell the difference between your friend and a program? Come on, when they drop lines like that, what are we supposed to think?
In any case, if somebody dies in the Neo World program, does that kill him out here? It could. It might not. Both are plausible.
I think the fact that you can repeat it would imply that you can reset everything or there wouldn't be a point. But that's just an assumption on my part.
After all, the Neo World program wasn't made specifically for these people. The Neo World program was made for its own purpose.
That's true. And we don't know how much control Monokuma.exe has over the full system, you know?
Well, it wouldn't matter if he has control over the system or not. I'm talking about do people die if they are killed? And they might or they might not.
Yeah, I guess we just don't have any proof.
Yeah. I mean, I sure hope that they don't.
Right?
Like an adult? What does that mean?
Oh yeah, I guess I was in there when you saw that. Okay, I guess I forgot.
Since we're avatars right now, we look exactly as we did before we entered the school. But in the real world, we've already lived out our school lives. Which means we've grown that much older. And among us, some age so much we didn't recognize them.
I also like how I've continuously been shrieking about how can there be so many school lives lived at the same time, and then it turns out there could not have been that. So my objection was more or less right. I'm not trying to sit here and crow about all this. It's just I am pleased that many of the things that we brought up
are being addressed.
And many of the objections we raised are being addressed. It's like, well, the reality is this. Your objection was valid. And I'm like, thank you.
That's all we're asking for.
I'm glad you addressed that.
And you are saying that happened to Hyoko?
It appears Hyoko had a growth spurt during the school year. Looks like the other shorty graduated, Fuyuhiko.
I can't believe that. You're just making shit up.
Ah, poor Fuyuhiko. He's just destined to be 4'9" forever. Until he shrinks.
If you guys only had memory loss, your body still should have grown during that time, right?
Didn't I say this before? Didn't I say this in the first game?
Yes, you did.
So you should have felt your bodies go through growth spurts. But why didn't you guys recognize each other?
Because we did not know each other before we lost our memories.
Bing, 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 bing.
If we all met after we lost our school memories, it's no different than meeting each other for the first time.
Though I do detect a hint of Final Fantasy VIII going on here.
Since we didn't know each other before that, we wouldn't have noticed how much we've all grown.
Sorry, that's just the most BS plot twist. Anyway.
No. Hold on. If we didn't know each other before, and we wouldn't have known if we aged or not by looking at each other, then wouldn't he have noticed the difference? Who?
And are these the only people we can pick?
Yeah, I can't pick anyone who's dead.
Okay, so they're not talking about Byakuya.
Well, if it's a he, then it's either...
Why would it be Kazuichi or Hajime? It's Monokuma.
Yeah.
Crap!
Okay, great. Now, when the time runs out, we won't have a game over.
Should I use focus?
I guess he's talking about Fuyuhiko and Peko.
That's what I was thinking.
There can't really be anything else.
That's who it has to be, right?
My first thought was that it might have been something with quote-unquote Byakuya, but
But we can't select him.
it kind of limits our options, which is probably a good thing since we weren't thinking along those lines.
You're the only one!
Excellent.
Because he knew Peko.
Yeah.
Hey, Fuyuhiko, you knew Peko for a long time, right?
I'm not entirely sure I follow where he's coming or where he's going with this, though.
Me either, but
Like, if they lost their school memories, it's true that they would not have forgotten each other.
right.
But
because-
why would just the fact that Fuyuhiko and Peko already knew each other mean that they had their memories from after their school life?
Yeah, I don't think anyone said anything that would have indicated that.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. I just don't quite follow where they're going.
Yeah, now that you mention it. Seems weird. No, now that I think about it, it's definitely strange.
Strange? What is?
Our school memories. About how many days' worth were taken away.
As the creators of the Neo World program, only the future foundation would know the details, but
Because Monokuma is just a virus.
Yeah.
around 2 or 3 years worth, I assume.
Couldn't be anything else.
That long?
2 at a bare minimum, because you can't be a freshman in Hope's Peak.
Peko and I have seen each other almost every single day of our lives. If we lost 2 years worth of memories, we would have noticed that we were older than we remembered.
I think what they're trying to say with this is that they didn't just lose those 2 years, but everything after that too, when they graduated and grew up. Because otherwise, he and Peko.
Okay, I suppose my problem was, is I thought this was obvious.
Me too, but I think that's where they're going with this.
And, like, quite obviously, they didn't have any memories beyond from where they were. Because they don't.
Because they don't. I mean, you're right. It is obvious, but sometimes you have to establish the obvious in these games.
I know that, but
It's an elevator, David. We have to explain what an elevator
they
is.
don't. They don't have any memories at all after, like they seem to be at. We just got to Hope's Peak, and then there's nothing after that. And I don't see how I'm supposed to come to the conclusion that anything other than that is the case.
Right.
Ah!
So, does that mean our memory loss is another one of Monokuma's lies?
Your refusal to accept your mutual memory loss is why you can't notice all the important parts. You've lost your memories, end of story. You guys are avatars who had their memories taken from them.
I suppose it's also because we were thinking along the lines of this. Like, this is the way it is. The end.
Yeah, everything points to it.
And it also explains everything, and the information about more time passing still fits into this. They're the people who are trying to... The characters are the ones who are trying to struggle against this being real, so they're trying to come up with excuses why it can't be, but we just assumed that it was true on account of it being true. Anyway, that's enough.
It's funny how you assume the truth is true.
This is a virtual world, and we're virtual avatars.
We may have just been predisposed to think about things in that way, however, for some
Are you
reason.
saying we just have to accept that?
Yeah, unfortunately, if you intend to move on, you have to face the truth.
I can feel my heartbeat, and I know what I smell like.
You can't simulate her bestial nose.
So what do you call these things I'm feeling? Are you saying these are all lies?
Just because it's a game doesn't mean everything was a lie.
No, this is where we might find out about, physical sensations and their repercussions. As in...
Have you heard that when you're hypnotized to believe you've been burned, a burn mark will really appear?
As in, are the characters who have died dead?
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to this point, remember what I was saying about autoimmune disease?
Uh-huh.
And it's like hypochondria in general. You can give yourself health problems, and under an autoimmune disease, your body attacks things that it thinks are invaders.
But aren't.
But they aren't invaders, and the only reason that it does that is With the exception of some things in the stomach, it's all psychological.
Yeah,
It's
placebo
like
and nocebo.
Yeah, it comes from neurological symptoms.
So if our brains believe something is real, it's no different than if it actually happened?
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I did hear about a phenomenon quite similar to that.
In fact, you told us about it.
In a distant country, there was a certain experiment carried out on one of their prisoners. The prisoner was blindfolded, strapped to a bed, and had small wounds applied to his toes to drain his blood.
What on earth?
Yeah, I feel you, Kazuichi. That's how I'd react too.
That prisoner was left alone in the experiment room, as the sound of dripping blood echoed throughout the room.
Maybe he basically didn't actually lose very much blood, but thought he was gonna bleed to death.
You know, in a comic book, in an issue of The Punisher, he captured a thug. He hung him upside down, blindfolded him, and he told him that he was going to apply a blowtorch to him. And he described the sensations bit by bit. He was like, first, it's going to feel icy cold because your nerves are going to be seared. Then, you're going to smell cooking meat, leathery smell of burning flesh. And what he did is he took a popsicle and he took the blowtorch to a bit of like rawhide and he stuck the popsicle on his back and applied the blowtorch to the leather to make it seem like he was using the blowtorch on him. And that's how he got the information he wanted without actually torturing him.
Wow, the Punisher had mercy on someone?
Yeah, I know, it's really strange, but I guess that's why I remembered it, because it was so out of character.
How fascinating, that is the exact same thing.
But in fact, his blood was not being drained. He was just forced to listen to the sound of dripping water, but he believed he was bleeding to death.
Pretty interesting camera trick with the 2D-ified...
And then like the shadow from the back.
However, in spite of that, the prisoner still died.
As expected of Miss Sonia, your knowledge of state-sanctioned torture is amazing.
Kazuichi?
Well, on the one hand, is that true? Did something like that really happen? I could believe it, but the other thing is, doesn't Sonia having knowledge of state-sanctioned torture make sense?
It does.
Wouldn't she be the person closest to knowledge?
It's probably her country.
Of state-sanctioned torture and like international laws regarding such things, and definitions of torture only make sense if she's the one who had that knowledge?
Yeah.
Let's talk about torture!
If a lie is a believable lie, you're saying it might become the truth?
Well, I mean, you know, hypochondriacs get sick without actually being sick.
Health anxiety's a thing.
We're really just connected to machines and stuff. And our consciousness was uploaded into here. So we genuinely believe that this game world was real.
On the plus side, he's got both his eyes.
The Jabberwock Island we've been living on.
Well, you know, I hadn't thought of that, but does he? Does he actually? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. If his brain decided that his eye did not function anymore, does his eye function anymore?
That's a good question.
Your immune system might attack it.
Ugh. Well, I was trying to be positive, but David came in with cold, hard reality.
Well, I don't know if it's reality, and more like cold, hard possibility. Our bodies will devour themselves if we think that there's a reason for them to.
Of course, that's also a virtual world.
Especially the place with the big screens in the sky.
That sea, that beach, the buildings, everything. It's all a virtual world created by the Neo World program.
Yup.
It's just like this space we're in right now. What we see before us is a virtual environment created by the program.
It just doesn't seem weird to me that this is the case, on account of the real world not
having chickens turning into cows and a bunch of all the other stuff we've been seeing.
And not having an escalator come out of the head of a giant bear rock on an island. And not having, like, a different trial room that's, like, all made up. And Monokuma saying, I don't even need the surveillance, I always know what's going on.
And of course, the beginning. If someone watches the beginning of this game and doesn't at least suspect there's some virtual shenanigans going on, then I don't know what you want.
Shenanigan blindness.
It looks real because our brains think it's real.
That's why, in the end... Yeah? Oh!
That is a very nice image in Danganronpa.
Yeah. It was all just a creation. That's the truth. And here we are!
Maybe that's why it's doing these cameras spinning behind people and their 2D stand-ups. No, it's a nice effect, and I like this. I like this. It's very cool.
The truth is it was all a lie. That is this world's truth.
If everything's a lie, then what should we believe?
Who cares if it's a lie?
It doesn't really change anything?
I agree with this.
Hey, what are you getting at?
Like, what? I don't understand why this is such a big thing to focus on. That's not true. It's real shocking. And like I said before, I'm probably underestimating the impact of it. But all the other stuff is real and does need to be focused on, and that's what we're here for. And that is all true.
It doesn't change the context of what they're doing, why they need to do it, or what's going on.
Yeah, I like that. It doesn't change the context for what's happening.
I mean, if this is really a game world, everything that happened here took place inside the game, right?
Yes!
Then that must mean...
Ah, here we go.
Like those things and our
That's
feelings
right.
about them.
The killings we were forced to commit were part of some silly game.
They still happened, whether they were part of a game or not.
The people who did it still chose to make those decisions.
And the feelings that everyone felt are still there. We're still real.
Everyone who was killed should still be alive in the real world.
We hope! It's plausible! We hope!
Here's where we find out, I guess.
Oh yeah, just because they died in the virtual world doesn't mean they died in real life. So you are saying everyone is still alive?
We did seem to be getting some sort of a cheat code message from Chiaki.
Yeah, that's it. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
And now I have to wonder, are the 4 Dark Divas of Destruction in their own tiny little pods, or are they hooked up to Gundam's pod?
Maybe they're literally only auxiliary programs. Like, they actually exist.
But they're not hooked up to the machine?
Yeah, but they're not in the Neo World program. It could have been easier to just make AI hamsters that follow their own rules and do as Gundam says. In fact, maybe the reason they were so powerful in terms of their fighting ability is because Gundam believed that they were.
I'm sick of taking care of these hamster things they keep hiding in my hair!
Who hooked Yasuhiro up to this machine?
Machine? Oh no.
What's so funny?
If a lie is a believable lie, it might become the truth. That's what you said earlier, Fuyuhiko.
Like I said, it might be the case or it might not. And even if he asserts that it's true, it doesn't mean that it is.
Yeah.
But even if he asserts that, no, they probably are alive, it doesn't mean that they are. In other words, we can believe literally nothing no matter what we're told.
Well, that's not new with Monokuma.
Or us.
Don't tell me. You mean...
The Neo World program isn't just any game. It's next-gen software containing the ultimate reality.
Oh yeah, this also explains something else. When Kazuichi was like, how the heck can we make a robot like Nekomaru? And how the heck did I make the robot? Okay, we're the ones saying that, but how the heck did they make Minimaru?
Uh-huh.
The answer is because technology had progressed. Now, I don't know how technology had progressed because time had progressed, because the world has been destroyed, but...
And speaking of that reality, if a player's avatar experiences death...
Then you're probably in Sword Art Online! Boy, that show sucked!
Their brains inside their actual bodies will stop functioning too!
Jeez.
What?
It's Whether it's true or not, we need to operate under the assumption that they have in fact died.
Yeah.
Because to do anything else...
Is to have false hope.
Yeah, oh, I was going to say is to do a disservice to everyone and is to actually weaken our resolve.
Also that.
But come to think of it, like, it makes it seem like nothing mattered if we try and think about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, until we resolve the situation, we shouldn't think about it. But honestly, in the context of Danganronpa, having false hope is actually worse, isn't it? That's a more important thing.
Then, everyone who died...
It's not like their bodies are completely dead, so I can't say it's a true death, but...
They're brain dead. Vegetables.
That's why it's actually crueler instead. All that's left of them are empty husks.
Are you saying they will never awaken again?
Also, even if it's medically true, there's no guarantee, because there's plenty of examples of people just suddenly becoming conscious. There've even been, like, for no reason that anybody could determine. There have even been examples of people who were nearly completely comatose and totally totally brain dead and unable to express anything for their entire lives, like for 24 years, suddenly waking up with a complete memory of everything that ever happened to them and a basically as well-developed brain as it could be in that circumstance. This has actually happened with a family of kids. The parents could not believe it. Neither could the kid.
I bet! There is so much that is still unknown about consciousness and the brain.
Yeah, we know nothing about it. Nothing.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I like the 8-bit music.
Well, nobody's gonna appreciate a game where you don't die when you're supposed to, right?
What game? That's not what we risked our lives for.
It's not about that. This isn't the point that we need to talk about.
It's the point Monokuma wants to talk about to fill them with despair and throw them off.
If you want to be mad, please be mad at the Future Foundation. They're forcing you to play this game.
Now, to be fair, that's true, but the killing part only came because of you, or more importantly, whoever put you in here.
Yeah.
Future Foundation? The people from the Future Foundation made us play this sick game? Everything was their doing?
Now, maybe this class is the Remnants of Despair. Maybe it isn't. If it isn't, then the Future Foundation is trying to save them. If it is, then the Future Foundation is trying to kill them, and Makoto and the gang are the ones trying to save them.
I know which one I believe in.
Then, Monomi and Chiaki were...
They betrayed the Future Foundation to protect us. And then... we were taken out.
No. Monokuma and the Future Foundation are not the same thing.
You can't think that.
I see. So our real enemy is the Future Foundation.
Which is what Monokuma is wanting them to think.
I don't like falling into his pace.
Now, I don't like the Future Foundation and have made that clear, but that doesn't make this right. Although it's also true that the Future Foundation outside of the original survivors do want the Remnants of Despair dead, but we're not positive that these kids are the Remnants of Despair. The circularization! Afying.
The Future Foundation is our real enemy? Is that it? Is that really it?
Very nice. Okay, what do we get? All of them.
The Neo World program was developed by the Future Foundation, right?
The ones who trapped us in here. It's all the Future Foundation's doing, right?
And the enemy is the Future Foundation! I mean, a group that would make a killing game.
A killing game.
There's no way they're good guys! Then the Future Foundation is... truly an organization of evil!
Well, it looks like it's basically just dealing with information like we thought.
I like how the white noise is just code.
I may not be a fan of the Future Foundation, and they might even be an organization of evil. I mean, not really, but I don't like them and I don't trust them. But to be fair, the whole purpose of this was not to put us, whoever we may or may not be, into a killing game.
That is entirely the cause of the virus.
And more specifically, the one presumably Izuru Kamukura who put the virus in here.
I think that's a safe bet.
I mean, a group that would make a killing game.
Oh? But they didn't make a killing game. The whole point was that it wasn't. Okay, well, let's see.
Oh! It became filled with death and violence after the virus infected it.
You just gotta say it the way they want. I mean, that's what we said.
I mean, a group that would make...
Ah, there we go!
No, that's wrong! Originally, in the world created by the Neo World program, a concept like violence never existed.
Love, hope fragments, etc.
Then, why is there killing going on?
The virus that invaded this program is forcing us to kill each other.
Yeah, because this is something that only Hajime found out.
Could it be that virus is?
So what were the other people doing? What information were they getting? Why was Hajime getting all the information and they were just standing around or whatever?
I don't know.
Fuyuhiko seemed to be getting his own manga, so what were the other people getting to read about?
They were standing in the hallways glitching and saying weird things.
You're right. Until Monokuma appeared, this island was giving off a really peaceful vibe.
I mean, the skies literally darkened, the waves increased in ferocity, and giant robots appeared.
Yeah. It didn't get weird until Usami was remodeled as Monami.
Well, there's nothing but peace about giant robots, especially the ones that are made for combat. Take it from me.
Monami, what sort of role did such a lost girl like her have in this world?
Hey, don't change the subject.
But that's his specialty. But that's also something we need to clear up. Monomi, or Usami's, role that she had in this world was observer.
I see! She was the observer of the Neo World program. Isn't that right?
There were two observers, one in a teacher position and one in a student position.
Mm-hmm.
That's right! She was an NPC that was assigned the role of observer.
NPC? What's that?
Don't worry about it.
Non-player character. A character that's not controlled by a person. It's different from avatars like us.
Well, that makes you an NPC, Monokuma. What do you think about that?
Monami's existence was created entirely by the program, just to monitor the 15 of you.
Please wait. Did you just say 15 people?
We've been through this already.
They don't know that Chiaki wasn't part of the original group that she was assigned.
Yes, they do. We knew that at the end of the last trial.
Well, we knew that she was a traitor. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess. Yeah, you're right, this is confusing.
Have you forgotten how to count? We're 16 people in total.
He was probably excluding the other observer.
Huh?
I mean, I'm
Another
sorry.
observer?
I thought we already settled this.
I mean, she's not here to observe herself. The Future Foundation's other observer. That has to be referring to that person.
Well, Byakuya, of course. I was wondering if you would have picked it!
Aside from the 15 participants, there were 2 observers in the Neo World program. One of them was Monami, and the other one was...
It is pretty interesting that means that Usami actually did, really defy the entire program and her own reason for existence. Literally being nothing but a program does make her bullheadedness more understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice that she defied it, but that doesn't make me like her.
No. I mean, Chiaki was presumably also operating under similar restrictions due to her role, but she fought it successfully. She tried.
Could it have been Chiaki?
Yeah, you're right.
The other person working for the Future Foundation.
Why would it not have been?
You're saying Chiaki was an NPC?
So you're saying she was just a program? And she didn't actually exist in real life?
Then she wasn't human?
Are you serious? Says the guy who kept claiming she was a robot. It makes sense. She didn't know simple things like about Girls' Day or about cows. And I'm sure the next FTE we have with her is going to be like, here, this is a book. And she is like, what is a book? Do I eat the book?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'd forgotten about the really simple things that she was completely unaware of.
And surprised by.
You had suggested this at least once, but it does seem weird that she's been programmed with such a large knowledge and affinity for so many old video games. Video games that I consider old.
Truly, the crux of AI technology.
It's appreciating video games?
Well, didn't Nagito recognize her when he was giving the introductions? She's probably based on the actual Ultimate Gamer.
I mean, this does seem surprising. Out of nowhere. I mean, not impossible. Monokuma's a virus and Monomi was an AI.
Yeah.
So I don't see why you couldn't have Chiaki, but be an AI. But the question, or an NPC would be a better term for this game. But, like, was there a real Chiaki?
It would seem to make sense for there to be an actual member of the Future Foundation here as someone to oversee it and help with stuff.
But we know that isn't true. There's 15 people in the pods. I'm skeptical too, which is why I always resisted this, but what if it's true? I'm not talking about Chiaki's moral value or whatever like that. Like, we've talked about Chiaki endlessly. We don't need to rehash the stuff we've already said. But what if this is true?
What if she was just an AI and wasn't real from the beginning?
Like you keep quoting, like you've even quoted in this episode, can't you tell the difference between a program and your friend? Well, what if you can't? What if there isn't a difference?
Well, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. Alter Ego was one of our friends.
Sure, no, I agree with this completely.
It'd be really sad, though, because that means that if they do get out of here, she can't come with them.
And even if there is a real, quote-unquote, real Chiaki Nanami, she wouldn't have any memory of any of this stuff. Of course, that may be for the better.
All things considered, yeah. She didn't exist at all?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Not human?
No, that's not it. Chiaki was really alive.
Even if she wasn't a real human, she was alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if she was a virtual existence, she was really alive.
Yeah, what I said.
Did you forget? She saved our lives, you know?
Multiple
times. She cared for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we've been saying that stuff the entire freaking game.
Don't get all mushy towards a game character.
Now, Cause it's a game. I just have to say this.
Uh-huh.
You know, the type of games that I play,
right?
And have played for years, tend to be the sort where I get all mushy towards game characters.
Yeah.
The type of game that this is one in which you get all mushy towards game characters.
Uh-huh.
See, this is just how dumb Monokuma is. That he is making fun of me personally!
Can we get all spiteful towards the game character? Is that allowed? I'll get mushy over any game character I like, and I'll get spiteful towards them too, you robot bear.
It's fiction, after all. What's the point of characters in fiction except being able to relate to them or care about them?
And
can't you even fiction properly in your game, Monokuma?
Shut up!
Exactly!
Plus, she wasn't just a little game character. She was a lackey for the detestable World Ender.
Well, Hajime's reaction was a little more to the point. But this is not true.
He has said that the Future Foundation is World Ender before.
We don't know anything about this World Ender except what Monokuma has said. We don't know if the Future Foundation is world ender or not.
That's true.
In fact, it seems like they're not, considering what we found out and was told to be true about what the Future Foundation is. Founded by Hope's Peak graduates, he's just messing with us.
Oh, of course he is. I'd say I could trust him only as far as I could throw him, but I could probably actually throw him pretty far, so...
That's a good point.
And then he'd explode. World Ender.
Now that you mention it, you referred to the Future Foundation by that name before.
It's... how can we believe this?
It's like... He wants us to only believe what he wants us to believe is true in this virtual world.
I'm totally on board with Future Foundation bad, but the Future Foundation isn't destroying the world.
In fact, they're trying to save the world from the tragedy.
Supposedly. But at the very least, they're not destroying it. The point is what does Monokuma or Izuru Kamukura or whatever have to gain by making us want to smash the Future Foundation? Doesn't that line up with these kids are the remnants of despair? The Future Foundation wants to get rid of us, and Monokuma wants us to get rid of the Future Foundation?
Yeah, trying to pit us against them so that they fight back and don't accept the Future Foundation.
That just means it was all a bluff, right? So we think that the Future Foundation was our enemy.
As usual, more to the point than me.
Do not joke about the world ending.
No, there's no doubt that the Future Foundation is also world ender. At least for those of us here.
See? That's what I'm saying!
Yeah, from the perspective of the ultimate despair who wanted the tragedy, the Future Foundation is trying to end their world. For everyone who's here?
Hey, what do you mean, those of us here? Why are you lumping us with you?
It's just a bluff.
Monokuma, what exactly are you?
That is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, we know he's a virus, but presumably he's a virus with the will of his creator. If the Future Foundation is making AIs like Usami and Chiaki, then who's to say that this isn't the exact same thing? An AI with its own really specific goal.
I've actually got an interesting theory on that. What are these avatars made of for the students?
Data.
Specifically, their memories before they went to Hope's Peak Academy.
It's their self-image. It's like reading their self-image, because the only memories they have, because they're it's like we were griping about earlier in the episode. They are what they perceived themselves to be before they went into Hope's Peak Academy, because by reverting their memories to that point, that's what they think they are. So therefore they display like that.
Uh-huh. What about all those memories of them, of their trauma, their despair, their years as the ultimate despair?
If those are true,
those are
may
true, yes.
not be true.
I'm aware. I am operating under the assumption that they are, in fact, the remnants of despair and have had those memories taken and are trying to be rehabilitated. I will admit that for this theory. Doesn't Monokuma know an awful lot about how to manipulate them, how they think, how they work? What if he's...
Thinking about it like that, he did seem to target particular individuals at particular times.
And he did recover Mikan's memories. What if that's what he is? The culmination of their memories.
No, the amalgamation of all of the grudge.
Like, all that data caused a glitch that formed Monokuma. In the icon of their like, glorious leader, her mascot, Junko Enoshima's Monokuma.
That is pretty far out there.
But wouldn't it be interesting if it were true?
It's just, how could it obtain... I mean, Alter Ego said it was a virus.
Well, yeah, it could still be considered a virus, based on what it's doing and the way it's behaving. Like taking over parts of the system and sort of corrupting the data.
Well, yeah! That's what I'm saying! How can they just have this sort of spontaneously arising virus amalgamation that suddenly is a virus with those types of powers?
I mean, maybe he's just the ultimate virus.
Your face is the ultimate virus.
It's true.
Why don't you just show us your true self already?
What, you can't talk?
I hate to break it to you guys. I have been showing you my true self this whole time.
I mean, he's been upfront with that at least.
It is cowardly of you to just ignore us.
Before I reveal my true identity to you guys, it appears the main cast has finally arrived.
Oh yeah?
The cavalry here to save the day or kill us all?
Now, yeah, does he mean that the Future Foundation has arrived at the facility, or is Makoto and his friends
I don't know.
jacking into the system?
I don't know.
Huh?
Main cast.
Speaking of which, this guy is a member of World Ender.
What? World Ender?
Yeah, it is Makoto. Yeah, exactly. What is this BS? Is his response.
Oh, here he is!
It's not the Future Foundation's fault. Rather, the fault lies...
Why does he look like this? Does he not have a different self-image? No, I know why he looks like this! Because he has to look the same, because there's no point otherwise. Anyway.
I just like the idea that he hasn't actually grown any.
with you guys.
Oh.
All right, I was waiting for you, Makoto. You finally arrived.
No, teach these sorry peons a lesson. They're the bad guys. Go punish them. Maybe Makoto and Hajime can duel with their ahoges.
I was thinking more like, no, that's wrong.
Well, they have opposite ahoges, don't they?
They do have opposite-facing ahoges. Also, it looks like Makoto's ahoge, why are we talking about ahoges, looks like a little limper, not quite as sharp as it used to be.
Why are we talking about the character's ahoges? Everybody looks so extremely bizarre and weird. Are we supposed to pretend they don't? Of course we're talking about that!
Makoto.
Yeah!
Excellent!
My name is Makoto Naegi. Like you, I'm also a former student of Hope's Peak Academy. And right now, I'm a member of the Future Foundation.
Until they show up and fire me for going against their orders.
See, that's the thing.
You are from the Future Foundation?
I have no problem, I can't like the Future Foundation, but I have no problem trusting Makoto, probably.
How could you not?
Yeah.
He's trying to save these people.
Even if that isn't the case.
Right.
Even if that isn't the case, it's like after following him for so long, it's hard to think that he'd suddenly be doing something terrible. So I have no problem just giving him trust by default.
Yeah, he's earned it through all the first games.
Why did someone like you suddenly show up?
Guys, look around! Isn't this the time for some crazy new set of characters to show up and be like, we were the final enemies all along?
Why am I laughing?
I suppose he is one of the final enemies, come to think of it.
I got it. You came to save us, right? Then hurry up and save us!
I guess he can't. Not in the situation that we know.
Yeah, we need that emergency shutdown thing.
Yeah, we don't have enough people for that.
We do now.
No, we're off. Well, if there's 15, we need 8.
Dang, you're right!
We're off by 1 if Minimaru counts, which presumably he does, or they wouldn't keep saying turn him off.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened?
Oh man, come on, Makoto.
Huh?
What is this? Isn't he acting a bit strange? This guy's attitude. It's as if he's being cautious of us.
I guess we're right about
Of course, I don't mind rescuing you guys, but before that,
about the remnants of despair.
you all need to fully accept the situation you're in.
Yeah, thank you!
Yes! The situation we're in?
Why do you think the Future Foundation decided to put you guys into the Neo World program?
How the F would we know? We have a good idea, but how are they supposed to know any of this?
Who cares?
hurry up and get us out of here.
That's why he's here. He's here to play the Edgeworth at the end of the first Phoenix Wright game.
Is he, though?
Maybe. That's what I want to hope.
The Neo World program has another name. The Hope Restoration Program.
Hope Restoration Program?
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm so confused.
By now, you should understand your true identities.
Huh? Our true identities?
They haven't even fully accepted the virtual world they're in yet.
Aren't we the 15 survivors of Hope's Peak Academy who were rescued by the Future Foundation?
Before you arrived here, Monokuma should have shown you guys some clues.
Well, they mostly showed me the clues.
Put them all together and try thinking about
Well,
it.
we have.
Put it together and think. Oh God! Oh, it's the logic dive.
Thank goodness.
Let me remember what the jump button is.
Okay, immediately leap off a cliff. See that? Leap in there right now.
No, I'm not gonna.
Good job, Billy. You resisted the temptation. Why did you do that?
That wasn't the slowdown button. This is distressingly simple. I'm very concerned. First question.
Who were the 15 survivors of Hope's Peak Academy?
I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. So we're correct on that in that regard.
So there wasn't anything funny to that number and the original survivors of the Killing Game.
What the? Were those?
You've seen those before. You've just forgotten everything.
Well, that's what happens. I always have like a memory block.
That's why you can't learn to play the trials! Question number 2. Who are the Remnants of Despair?
I mean, it's gotta be us. Makoto and the others!
I mean, they all but said it the first time the term came up.
I'm actually doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed a second ago.
I'm trying to concentrate really hard. Whee! Wahoo! Here we go!
So the big question, why were Hajime and the others put into the Neo World program? Looks like we were completely correct.
Whew! Oh, not over yet! Not over yet!
Question number 4 is coming up, huh? No? Why'd they even do this?
It's all coming together.
Well, guys, accept the situation you're in.
Could it be? The survivors of Hope's Peak Academy and the remnants of Ultimate Despair are...
Yes, both of those phrases refer to you guys.
People filled with an abnormal amount of darkness.
That's right. Not only are you guys the survivors of Hope's Peak Academy,
You're also survivors of Ultimate Despair!
You're the bad guys! That's why I, Hero Monokuma, am here to punish you all!
You know, there's a twisted kind of sense to that. Especially how this lunatic thinks.
We're all Ultimate Despair?
Haven't you known? I've been the good guy since the beginning. Of course I am! There's 1 of me and 15 of you! The hero is always outnumbered.
What does the Future Foundation want to do with with Remnants of Despair?
As if that email is to be believed, which I assume it must be, to kill them. Go to the truth bullets. It should be abundantly clear how dangerous it is to keep them alive. Stay calm and think carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world.
Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. What's Monokuma been doing? Getting them to kill each other.
Why do you think I've been saying that I'm the hero? I even have robots of justice!
He's right!
Don't be stupid!
I guess the founder or what's been credited as the founder of Hope's Peak Academy is Izuru Kamukura. If Monokuma is like Izuru Kamukura, well, why not?
Oh, my brain!
In the beginning, we took in 15 of you as survivors of Hope's Peak Academy. But upon further investigation, we discovered an unbelievable truth.
That you guys are all freaking crazy and pretty terrible people.
Oh.
The 15 people we acquired were actually the horrifying remnants of despair.
I'm sorry, I've been the bad guy all along.
You don't get to apologize.
That was us?
oh, wait, I'm not supposed to be laughing here.
Was I?
What is this ultimate despair?
Come on, guys. You've heard the term before, haven't they?
What have they been doing? So what? Fuyuhiko read one manga, Hajime read them all, and they were just like, whoa, glitches.
I remember hearing that they're dangerous guys who are responsible for terrorism, coup d'etats, and wars.
Thinking about it like that, the only person here who wasn't like, who didn't have that abnormal darkness, other than Nekomaru, is Chiaki.
Yeah, she was overflowing with positivity.
With hope, right?
I agree with you, 100%, but that word has lost all meaning to me now.
Yes, I know, but I just have to.
That laugh is great, yeah.
I just have to bring it up. So it's like, I mean, substitute despair for darkness. It's just, this way I don't sound like Nagito, which I don't really...
Please stop.
I don't really care to do.
Oh!
They're responsible for the tragedy and brought chaos into the world.
Now, as for what should happen, I don't know. We don't know anything. That's the whole point of us being here like this.
Despair in human form, but utterly devoid of humanity. That's what you guys really are.
Jesus!
The ultimate despairs don't care about principles or morals. They just spread despair everywhere they go. They live solely to torment everything, to burn everything, to kill everything.
Man.
The end point of nihilism.
We're part of a dangerous group like that?
What happened to them? They seemed like such decent people up until that point.
Dude, did you forget what we talked about in the last episode? Remember, Hajime is a reserved course student, okay? And he's somebody who has no self-worth if he doesn't have a talent. If he's not part of the elite, then he's miserable. He's hopeless. Akane probably didn't have the most pleasant childhood. It's funny to laugh about all the front tail and stuff now, but it's entirely likely that she was seriously abused, and that left a lasting impression on her. Fuyuhiko is the head of a dangerous, is the heir to a dangerous mafia organization. On top of that, there's the girl he loves, who is an assassin that has had her humanity completely stripped from her. His resentment over that is something that additionally drives him as he continues to approve of the organization and its methods. Meanwhile, that girl herself, Peko, is like the mafia killer. Remember, that's even what she did when she was trying to protect Fuyuhiko. Mahiru ended up covering for a murder earlier, and apparently the scar that it left on her conscience was enough to never let her get over it. Hiyoko is so neurotic that hatred is really easy to come out when you're in a situation like that where you're full of fear. What is it that Yoda says after all? All that fear and all that shame turns into all that anger and all that hate. Need I go on?
No, you don't.
Like Nagito is pretty obvious. Mikan is more of a sociopath than Genocide Jill, a serial killer.
I know, there's just some fundamental part of me that still wants to believe in them.
Well, they weren't supposed to be like that.
I know, but sometimes all it takes is that final push.
And clearly that's what it was. It's like they were dissatisfied
With their lives.
but in a really serious way, and the spark of Junko, like the charisma of a demagogue, pushed them into into going completely overboard.
That's gotta be a lie.
That's right. There's no way. There's no way we're all ultimate despair.
Nagito probably did what he did because he managed to learn the unbelievable truth.
So thinking about it like that, he wanted the traitor to win, to
Because-
wipe out
To wipe out all the remnants of despair.
for hope,
And that's why he killed himself.
because he deserved it too. They all had to die, which includes himself, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the look on Billy's face was like vomit-induced disgust.
I may actually have to run to the bathroom and throw up. Jeez.
Why are you getting so mushy? Why are you getting so attached to these video game characters? They're terrible. They're horrible. They're killers. Not a hero like me.
Daymon, I cannot reach into the screen and throttle Monokuma, but you're right here.
Oh!
Oria.
Oh! That's my catchphrase! Hey! Ah!
A body has been discovered. I knew this was gonna happen. Look at all these organs I can sell on the black market. Oh, is that little robot toy an O part? I can finally pay off all my debts. Gee, Monokuma, you're the best.
Oh, this was a really weird ending, guys. Don't ever get this strange again.
Danganronpa. Danganronpa.